Okay, where are we and what are we doing? Well, we are in the west. Edge of the map's about a kilometre that way. Airfield's that way, Lapitino's over there. Yeah, you know where we are. I am pretty damn well kitted. This is normally where someone then turns around and shoots me. I just had a load to eat, and I don't know whether I'm not getting the stuffed mark, so there's still more to be. There's more food to be eaten. But a general little looting, see what we can find. To be honest, I can't imagine much in here that I want. Although I would still like to experiment with shotguns. Haven't found a shotgun yet. Not quite sure where they're being hidden. Probably in buildings I don't go in, so yeah. Right. You can go up there. Climbed a ladder earlier, and my weapon didn't go away properly. And when after I finished climbing the ladder, it was quite sure what you would do up here, apart from, well, I suppose you'd use it as a vantage point to snipe people. Nice bit of overview. That should be V-bore. V-bore, Vi-bore. So we'll have a little trot along there. There's no loot up here. Let's see if I can get down without killing myself. There is, if you're really worried about zombies, there is enough places like this that don't have zombies, odd houses like that, for you to quite happily survive and kit yourself up and never see a zombie once. So we trot along here. Catch up with you in a sec. Right, running into the outskirts of V-bore. Now, one of the interesting things that happened in the last day or so is the first time we've had a chance to have a look at Mantle with BF4. Now, I know it's a completely different game to this, but I'm running AMD graphics cards. I've got a pair of 7970s. And BF4 has bumped up in its performance. Wait. Yay, got it onto single shot. So, yes, BF4 has bumped its performance up quite dramatically. So, which is cool, which is great for BF4, but oh my god, how Mantle would help this. Because if you notice, frame rate stutter. I'm recording, we're going into a town, I'm getting 18 frames per second. And that's nothing to do with my graphics cards. The thing I thought Mantle was going to do, it doesn't do. I thought it was just all about the graphics. And it's not. It's about CPU utilization. Now, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Mr. Zombie? I'm sure I heard one. Yes, it's about CPU utilization. Oh. Apparently DirectX... Well, I missed him again. Hey, that got him. Bastard. Yeah, DirectX doesn't make a great deal of use of your... or doesn't make proper use of your CPU. And it sort of chokes and bottlenecks the graphics. Who knew? Also, the graphics shaders are handled differently. But primarily, well, not primarily, it's complicated. I don't entirely understand it, but Mantle sort of frees up the correct use of multi-core processors, changes the shaders and things. So Dayz, along with all Armour games, are very heavily restricted on Dallas mask. Very heavily restricted on CPU usage. Dayz only really uses, like all Armour games, only uses 4 cores. It primarily uses 1 core, and then uses a little bit of the others. Oh, there's a raincoat. Finally got a better coat than a raincoat. So, what I'm thinking is, Bohemia Interactive, please, 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 go talk to AMD and get Mantle for Armour. Because one of the things that Mantle does, it isn't just about pretty graphics, it's about AI. One of the implementations, or one of the first games that's going to come out with Mantle, is a... So is that an RPG? No, it's one of those games, it's like where you've got hundreds of spaceships. And running that much AI is very, very difficult. Whereas with Mantle, you're running thousands because you're offloading it to the graphics card. And Armour has always had a difficulty with its CPU utilization, in particular when it comes to large quantities of AI. And if they implemented Mantle, I think we would see a massive jump in performance. Well, for those of us who are running AMD cards. And AMD CPUs as well, because apparently it really unlocks the 8-core and the 6-core, which have traditionally had problems with their utilization. So, yeah. Bohemia Interactive, we want Mantle, please. We'd like it in Dayz, obviously, because we play Dayz, but we also... Oh, look at the scale coming through those little bitch. Yeah, we want it for Dayz, but we also want it for... Oh, you come through the floor! See how inaccurate the pistol is? Finally decided to get through some bullets. Loud as well. What are you... A hat? Something. So yes, we would please very much, pretty pleased with a cherry on top, like Mantle for all Bohemian games. Come on. We don't run that way. Well, I missed again. This is getting silly. So, yes, Mantle. We would like it, please. Now, Mantle's an open API. One of the criticisms, people, the NVIDIA guys are going, "Ooh, we can't have it, we haven't got it." As well, you could, if NVIDIA wanted to. When NVIDIA bought out PhysX, they bought it out as a total right, and if you had an AMD card, you were out of luck. You were plumb out of luck if you wanted PhysX. But Mantle, AMD with Mantle, they've said no. Anyone can do. Anyone can make use of this. This is an open API. So, if NVIDIA wanted to support Mantle, see how inaccurate this is. Ooh. Not too bad then. Loud though, isn't it, eh? So yes, if NVIDIA wanted to put Mantle into their support Mantle, they could. Whether they would need to do anything in hardware or whether it would just be software, I would imagine it would be software. Yeah, Nvidia could be supporting Mantle fairly soon if it is just a software thing. If it's a hardware thing, then obviously we're going to have to wait for a new generation of Nvidia graphics cards. Ooh, tin opener. But if it can be done in software, then it's just a case of a driver write. And we all know how well Nvidia write their drivers, because they do a darn sight better at writing their drivers than AMD do writing theirs. So that could be entertaining, couldn't it? Would be cool, because I mean, my Battlefield 4 on my computer obviously ran pretty well, but I reckon I've gained a reasonable amount of... Let's see how accurate... Oh, helps there's some bullets in it, doesn't it, eh? How do you reload this then? Here's a question. That is a very loud weapon, isn't it? Burlap sack? No, t-shirt. Grab a drink. Don't think there's a water source in V-Ball. Can't remember. Oh well. The continuing search for loot. There's a water source in the town below, and there's a river underneath the under the bridge. Grubby shorts. Did I go into that one? I can't remember. I do like checking out these buildings because they're normally quite good for loot. Another payday mask. Who's that? That's Wolf. Another compass. What's the state of that compass? Mine is worn. Worn. Don't know if it makes a difference. Don't know if the compasses are more accurate if they are not worn. Would be cool if that was the case. I think what I'm going to do is go up here and eat all the things. Now here's the thing about, I can tell you that it's not my graphics cards causing an issue. For a start, I'll take my headphones off. I can barely hear them, they're hardly running. I am looking at an incredibly simple 3D image in front of me. 27 frames per second. Now granted, that's partly down to the recording, but if you look at the image I'm looking at, that is 3D, is very, very simple. My graphics cards aren't being strained. It's the processor. Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. That scene that I'm looking at right now, which whilst recording gets 30 frames, it went up to 55 frames per second. I've opened Task Manager. My CPU is running at 16%. And I'm recording with fraps. 16%. Unbelievable. First CPU is running, second CPU is doing nothing. Third is running, fourth is doing nothing, fifth is running, sixth is doing nothing. Yeah, you get the idea, it's every other one. So it's only using 6 cores currently. The other 6 cores are completely flatlining. Oh, hang on, I can't interact with my task manager and record. Back in a sec. Okay, we're back. Now, Dayz is using 1.233 gig. And Fraps is using 123 meg. It's old, isn't it? Why does Dayz use such a small amount of memory? It says private working set memory. Whether that's the total amount of RAM, I don't know. Isn't it weird? And CPU, yeah, I don't know. I just really, really want. I was going to go up there to eat, wasn't I? I really, really want to see what Mantle can do. Because I believe the way that Mantle handles like AI and stuff, regular armor will see a massive improvement from it. Let's get this the right way around. We've got to do things in the right order, otherwise it takes too long. So yeah, I'd like to see Mantle in Dayz. I'd like to see Mantle right across the board in armor, because I think armor could benefit from it dramatically. Oh well. I'll munch my way through this little lot. There's no point in you watching me munch. Right, leaving Viborg. I was stuffed. I'm no longer stuffed. That disappeared quickly enough. Of course, there's, I was talking about performance. There is the other issue, and that's the server. This low performance that I'm getting whilst playing, without recording, I'm getting about 36 frames per second, which is appalling. But my CPU is not being used to a tenth of its ability. My GPUs are not being used because I can hear them running cool. So the last thing is the server. In the mod, server was terribly important to your performance, and I assume it's the same now. It's also, you get it in Armour 3 as well when you're playing some of those big persistent things like, get my brain into gear. Oh, hang on. Oh, bloody thing. It was supposed to be drink water. Drink water. Oh, that's annoying. Oh well. Yeah, like I want to have that one in there. No, thank you. I'm going to take this one out, put this one in. Yeah, that's annoying. So, yes, the server speed is very, very important to you. I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the GSPs, that's the game service providers, are running Dayz on too weak of a server. That the server specs need to be beefed up. Obviously there's going to have to be some optimization. Game optimization is actually going to come from server optimization. So yeah, I think a lot of the game optimization will come from the server, because there are some things that just can't be done at the moment because they would have done them already for the rest of Armour, like the CPU utilization and such like. But we shall see as things progress. As I say, I as a plea to Bohemia Interactive, please investigate Mantle, because I think all of your games would benefit massively from it. And then, but that's probably a long way into the future and would take a great deal of development. But yeah, poor performance. Sometimes it ain't you. Sometimes it's the server. I think that's what's happening today. Because, as I say, my CPU is barely being touched. The first core is running at about 20%, and Dayz would normally load up your first core quite dramatically. The GPUs are not being stressed at all. They are running cool and quiet. so they're not being stressed. So all in all, I think it must be the server that's slowing us down today. And that's a bit of a shame, because that is not in my control. You can change your settings all day long, it wouldn't make any difference at all if it's the server that's running slow. I've even turned some of my settings down because of this recent problem. Let's have a little look at my settings. Configure video. Not that one. Quality. Yeah, I've got it down to high rather than very high. Let's whack it back up to very high. This will probably make it go black. And anti-aliasing I had disabled, so let's whack that on normal. Don't like alpha coverage, that's what used to be called ATOC. Let's stick that on very high. Ambient occlusion. Makes things a little fuzzy, doesn't it? Ambient occlusion. I don't think I like that. Bloom I definitely don't like. The rotational blur I don't like. Let's whack that on very high. See if that gives us a frame rate dip. Come on back. It just makes everything look a little bit to be in a soft focus in the distance. Let's close that. No, that was the one I was just in. Textures. Texture filtering. That looks better. Hasn't affected my frame rate. Can't change 3D resolution, which I find annoying, and you can't adjust view distance, which I find very annoying. I had a look through my my game files, discovered that view distance is set to 3 kilometers. Ah, now yes, now that's tanked my frame rate. Ooh, she's turned into a slideshow. Oh no, she's caught back up again. She's still a bit, no, she's a bit tanky. I think my graphics cards still aren't raging, but I think that's a little too much. So which one do we think it was that caused that? I think it was possibly texture filtering. It was anisotropic filtering. Still a little chunky. Oops, wrong button. That's better. Strange, anisotropic filtering. Still chunky though, we're still dipping to the 10 frames per second, that's no good. Pretty unplayable. I wish I hadn't started doing this now. Anti-aliasing. Don't really need it when you're running the FXAA. Oh shit. Oh shit. This is not going to end well. Because unless I got a screen, I can't do jack. And I heard a zombie, and I'm going to get my brains beaten out because I'm messing with my settings when I'm close to a town. I heard him, but I don't see him, and I'm getting 19 frames per second. And things look fuzzy. I don't like fuzzy. Let's go find a bush to mess with these settings. It all looks like the world's in bloody soft focus at the moment. Well, I heard that zombie, but I don't see him. Whee! That'll tank your frame rate. Right, now, let's go back into my settings. Video. That should all be okay. Rendering. Let's turn that to normal. I didn't touch that, I didn't touch that, I didn't touch that. There we go. It was that triple FA whatever that was causing me the trouble. Probably means I can turn some of the other bits and bobs up. But still my graphics cards aren't raging. They're not being stressed. So there's plenty more capacity left in them. My CPU is not being stressed. This is an odd game. Very odd game. Now let's go find that zombie that was giving us grief. Oh, a few more people have come onto the server. Let's go have a little look up here. Not sure there's anything much we're after, but you never know what spawns in. Still wouldn't mind one of those shotguns. Well, you should find loot up there. Ooh, ooh. Oh shit. There's the shotgun. Wonder how much space that takes. But you take lots. You can see my computer's lagging a bit. No, she won't fit in there. I hear another zombie. I mean, I want to play with the shotgun, but not to the point where I drop my bloody M4. That would be silly. I can hear it out there. Where are you? Can you hear it? Yes, I want to play with the shotgun, but not to the point where I'm willing to drop my M4. Because I want to do the old sawn-offy bit. Apparently, with a sawn-off shotgun doesn't take up much space. I want to use it like a pistol. I'm not quite sure how many slots it takes. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to have to drop my settings, because this is ridiculous. Oops, wrong button. Always used to be shadows that used to cause you a great deal of difficulty in regular armour. Come on back to me. I want a screen. Thank you. Oi. Thank you. I think I may have to leave and come back. Sometimes this happens. When you play with your settings a lot in the way that I have been for the last 5-10 minutes, it can sometimes screw things up to the point where you've got to leave the game and come back. So I think what I'm going to do is, while my game has turned into a slideshow, is get to a safe location, despawn, restart the game, and come back in again on the same settings. Because, yeah, this doesn't make a great deal of sense. Sit here for a second. Oh, heard a zombie. Where are you? Oh, there you are. This low frame rate is actually quite tricky. So, I'm a bush. And I'm going to leave the server. Which means I've got to stop recording. So, I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, we're back. We're back on the same server. And look, my frame rate, it has jumped back up again. Yeah, I've noticed that a bit with this. If you mess with your settings a lot in the way that I was, it doesn't seem to recover as well. Maybe if I did a flush. That's a point. Does a flush still work? That might be interesting to discover. Does a flush still work? No, that's not it. Yes, flush does still work. That's an old thing from with armor-based games, is to flush your video RAM. It is with the left-hand shift button and the minus button on the numero pad, then you type the word flush. It'll do this. It sort of addresses a bit of a memory leak issue. Mind you, having just done that, that has now had the effect of tanking my frame rate. So maybe that's not something you want to do in Dayz. Oh no, it's picked back up again. I suppose it's reloading everything back into video RAM. Maybe flush isn't something you want to do in Dayz. Oh god, we're going to have to leave the server and come back again. Oh. First I'm going to have to deal with a Z by the sound of it. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Ooh, another one. Ooh, bloody hell. Didn't get me, did he? Don't think so. Ooh, and another one. Oh, inside. Are you going to come through the wall? Yes, you are, you naughty little bitch. Not quite sure why I still come through these. God, did you see how slow that was? Gordon Bennett. I need to get out into the countryside. I think I'm also going to have to leave the server and come back again. After doing that flush, it completely tanked me. Oh, hello. Yes. I don't know if this low frame rate... I say now it's speaking, it's picked up again. Now I'm not looking at the town. Look at the town. Tank. Look at the countryside. Speed up. Maybe a different server would be a good idea. Let's put that away. And let's get out of Dodge. Might be the new driver, of course. Might be causing my troubles, because of course I've updated my graphics driver to the beta 14.1. That was to get the Mantle working on my for Battlefield 4. Might have had a negative effect on armour, I suppose. Unlikely, but possible. Can you see it's affecting my running? Frame rate, low frame rate, it's affecting my running. It's sort of stagger. Yeah, not good. I think we're going to wrap this video up while I go and play with my video settings. Look at the pretty sun coming through, streaming through. And yeah, I think we're going to wrap this video up because I'm obviously having a few technical issues. I've got to obviously mess with my settings, get it all running sweet and smooth, maybe find a server that isn't running so slow, or try and figure out why my PC is running so bloody slow. Very weird. Talk to you again later, boys and girls, and thank you very much for watching.